Hi friends, welcome. Today Wednesday we'll learn about while loop. So yesterday we discussed about for loops and hope you have understood the concepts and downloaded the scripts and all. We'll start today with while loop. So this is one of the very useful function where you can use it for looping or repeatedly using a particular code block. If I have to use it on one time, there is no point in using a loop. So loops are basically used repeatedly using a particular part of a code block. But here in the while loop, we'll have a logical way of doing it. Means if it is true, then you do this. If it is not true, don't do this. So that is the reason why. So let's just move to our browser here. We are in our Colab platform. So you know that this we are using for our running our Python scripts. This is a Google Cloud platform. You just need a Google account to use this, and you can before that just watch this page. This URL is there in the description. You can visit this URL, scroll down, read all the content on while loop. Everything is there. Whatever we are going to discuss now, all codes are here. You can scroll down, come here, the GitHub link is there. You can click this link and go to GitHub and download either it can be a Jupyter file or a Python file. Here you will get the Colab link also. Here it is at the top. Once you click this, you land in this particular page in your Google account. So you can save it or run the codes. So now all the text blocks are there. So you have written what you are going to do or take it as the questions. We'll add the answers to it. So before we start, my request is please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you'll be notified as and when we are adding new tutorials, and we are frequently doing that also, and we are almost regularly, we are coming, it's second week, we are continuing our 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time, our Python basic course. Start with a simple example to understand while loop. Fine, we'll start that. I will add a code block here. Fine, here I is just a variable. I am assigning it to 0 value. Now while, then the condition, if it is true, then only this code block. I am keeping it inside a bracket but not necessary. Fine, if it is I is less than true. In this particular case it is true because I have set the value of I as 0. Print I, print the value of I. Next what I am going to do is I equal to I plus 1. What has happened now? Now if I run this, so it's the first time, so it will take a bit of time to connect and allocate the resources to me. So this is the cloud platform, so you can share it the files with your friends, or there is no need to specially install anything. Everything is pre-installed. Here it is 0 1 2 3 4. I is less than 5 as long as that is true. What happened? I value increased by 1, goes back, print, again increased by 1, print. So it checks. Moment I becomes 5, it comes out of the loop. This code is line is 3 or 4, both are not executed once the I value reaches 5. So 4 is the last thing which got printed. Okay, now what happens? This at the end we can keep a else block also. Let me just keep a else block. So YS, I'll just pasted it here. Then I am writing it else print I am in outside loop inside else block. That's all. So let me just run this and see what this. See, it is still printing because the loop continues till 4, and the 5th it comes out and print and outside the loop inside the else block. So the else block is printed or executed. It is once the while loop is completed, but it is a part of the while loop. Then why I could have written directly a print outside once a loop is, no, there is a reason behind that. We will understand shortly with a break and continue. Break and continue, yesterday we have discussed in our for loop section also. So the same thing you are using it here. The concept is same. If it is break, it comes out of the loop. If it continue, loop jumps to the starting of the loop. We'll see that. So I will just show you. Let me just search that I am not. Let me just, yeah. So we'll go to the page again. Here we are. Watch this particular image again. While continue, once it is a continue is there, this what happens once it encounters continue, this bottom below that two statements are not executed and it jumps to the beginning. Again it continues. But here what happens? Here if it is encounters break, it comes out of the loop. No more loop execution, and anyway in both the cases this below these two statements are not executed, but in case of continue, next time if it encounters, it will continue it will execute, but in the break case it comes out of the loop. That is the basic difference. We'll see that. Let me just, okay. Let's start a while loop with break. Here I am, so I equal to 0, fine. While again, or I cannot have copied this, while I is less than 5, this is my condition, enter it. So I inside this I have to write I plus 1. Why I am writing this? Because I have to increment the condition needs to false at some point of time, otherwise it will be an infinite loop. That I should not do that. So I am writing I increment next step one more point, next step one more point. It continues like that. Now I am saying if I equal to 3, now this is the if condition, then what I do is continue. Okay, now outside this, outside the if condition, I am printing the value of I. Okay, now what happens? Now this will print, it will start from 0, 0, 1, 2. Once it reaches 3, this continue will be encountered. This loop will encounter the continue. So it will not come to the next line. So the print won't be there. So the third digit won't be printed. 0, 1, 2, then 4. Let's just see that. Let's okay, let's run this. We have written 0, sorry, it started from the I equal to 1 because, why? Because I have increasing it beforehand, so it reaches the value of 1 here. So 1, 2, 3 is not printed, 4, and it has printed 5. What happens once it encounters continue, it will not go to the last line inside the loop and it will start from the beginning again. Fine, that is what the purpose of continue. What happened if I'll add a else statement here? Same thing, I will just copy this. Fine. So anyway, there is as if it has nothing to do with the continue. Once it comes out of the loop, continue is printed. Now let's just comment this line and tell it what happens if we encounter break. So here this time it will come out of the total loop. Once a break is encountered, the loop ends there and it comes out. But this time, once it comes out, it will not execute the else part. See this 1 and 2. This line is not printed. See, this is the separate one. While loop, this text is different. This is for the next block. So only it has printed 1 and 2. So I am outside the loop, or the else part is not executed because it encountered the break. Say something has happened which is not our intention. Say error message has come. We don't want the thank you for your, so all this thank you or your data is updated. All this sort of successful message will keep it inside the else block. But in case of something has gone wrong, we don't want that message to come. That time we will use break and keep the anyway success messages are in else part. So that is the way how it will work. Add one else part to a while loop. Okay, already we have done that. You can just copy this and paste it. What is the effect of break and continue with else? This is what actually I will just copy this up to this. You can try this. Once this session is over, I will save this and upload it to GitHub again. So all the solutions also will be there. Not only the questions, the solutions will be. So you can just change it, practice it, keep on changing and use it. Okay, now that's fine. Now let's come to nested loops. We have also discussed yesterday about the nested for loops. Sorry, every time I click this. We'll start with the nested. Nested loop means one loop inside the another loop. This we will use it probably next week. If we are through in that, we'll developing some patterns in that while inside a while loop. So nested loops are one loop inside that. So internal loop first gets executed, then the external loop gets executed. Again the external loop trigger the internal loop. So internal loop initiates and it triggers the external. So we'll see that. Let's say because two loops, so two pointers I am using, I equal to j equal to 0. Fine. So while I is less than 5. Now inside this my internal loop is there while j is less than 5 again. So this is the internal loop. Print. What I am printing? I am printing a star and I am not giving a line break here. So earlier we have discussed end equal to say blank screen. If you give, then there will be no line, because by default the end takes the value of a line break. So next line when you print it, below that it print. I am telling end, I am just this parameter I am changing it, giving a no line break. So at line break I am removing by writing like this. Fine. Now j equal to, I have to increase it, otherwise it will be a infinite loop. So j equal to j plus 1. Fine. Now what happens? I have to come out of, now I am external loop. So there is an inner loop, there is an outer loop. I am in the outer loop now. What I am going to do is I am printing the line break now. What I have to do for line break? Nothing. I just a empty string is a line break, because I am not putting a end here. So automatically it will add a line break at the end. So next line, actually internal loop will put 1 star, 2 star to the right, another star to the right, like that up to 5. Then one line break, this line number 6 will give a line break. Again it will start from the beginning, 1 star, 2 star, 3, like that to the right of it. So this line number 4 will write a star to the right of the previous star. Fine. So this is there. Now we have to, because after the end of the first loop, internal loop, before it starts next time, we must initialize to 0. So j equal to 0. If I don't write it, one time the inner loop will execute and second time it won't, because j value will reach the 5, because I am increasing at line number 5. So j equal to 0. Now I have to increase the internal loop also, external loop, I equal to I plus 1. Fine. So let me just move up a bit. Yeah. So let's just run this. See here, first inner loop, it has come to here, internal loop is there. So internal loop just prints the stars without any line break. Then internal loop completes once the j reaches the value 5. Then it prints this. This gives me the line break. So what happened? Next line starts. Next line starts, that time j I am again setting it to 0. If I don't put this line, it will be only one line. Let's just see that what happens. If I am not removing this line, you will find only one line, because next time the j is already 5. So this condition becomes false. So this condition, there is no point. That is the reason why I have to, every time I have to initialize. Fine. So let's run this. Now instead of star, let's print the value of j itself. So what I am going to write is j. What is going to happen if I write it? Then instead of star, it will tell me what are the values. It takes 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Then again initialize to 0, next loop 1, 2, 3, 4, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that 5 times this will be repeated. This is the nested loop. Okay, now there are two things. Print all prime numbers up to 100. This is where we will understand where the else part is, why the else, the importance of else is here. We'll understand that, and this is also will tell us what the break statement and continue, what's the difference in that. That will practically examine. So this is, there are two parts actually. You can input a number, tell me it's a prime number or not. That code is there already, you can download, but we will go to the next one, that you will write it, print all prime numbers up to 100. I will leave it that you ask a user enter a number, then you take it. From this you can easily make it out. Understand that print all prime numbers up to 100. Fine, I have just moved up. Let me, why to fix it as 100? You can take 50 or 1000, anything. So I am using a variable here. So display all the prime numbers. Yeah. So what's the, I am taking the num equal to 100. You can change it to 50, then you at a single point you can change it. Now let me just, what's the prime number by the way? Just refresh your memory. I am starting with 2. Okay, prime numbers are numbers which are divisible by itself and by 1, nothing else, no other number. So if you say 10, it's divisible by 2, it's divisible by 2, so remainder is 0. The logic is when it divisible by another number less than that, remainder should be 0. That is our logic. So if it is 7, it is divisible by 7 and 1 only. So we have to check. So 7 is a prime number. So we have to check any number between 2 and 6. Is it divisible by 7? If it is divisible by 7, then it is not a prime number. If nothing is divisible by 7, then it's a prime number. But we need not check up to 6 points. Say for the 7, we need not check. Why? Because if it is not divisible by half the number, then it is not divisible beyond that. For example, if take it 50, half of it is 25. So if it is anything between 1 to 25 is divisible, 50 is divisible by 1, between 1 to 25, it's fine. Because after 25 nothing will be divisible, because up to half point only. So if you take 100, you need to check up to 50. If you take 30, you need to check from 2 to 15 only. You need not take 16, 17, 18, anyway that will not be divisible. So that is the logic what we will build up. Hope it is clear. Now while I less than num minus 1, because I am just thinking if it is 100 means up to 99 I have to check, or you can use num also directly up to 100. So this is fine, it's the outer. Now j equal to 2. This is where from my division I will check out or it will start. So j equal to 2. 2, 3 and 1. 1 I am not checking because I know 1 is divisible. So j equal to 2. Now all the comments and all I will paste it here, so you can easily, while j less than equal to I divide by 2. Up to this point only we will be checking. So up to this, so we are checking. The reason is there is no point going beyond half the mark. So while if I modulus, this symbol tells us, gives us the remainder of the division, that is modulus, and that is for, if it is perfectly divisible we will get a remainder of 0. So I modulus j, if it is equal to 2 equal to's, because it is a comparison operator, not assigning operator. Here single equal to means, here it is we are assigning num to 100. Here means we are comparing it. So don't miss that one. So equal to 0. That means this is divisible. So in such a situation, what we are going to do, what we are going to do is we will put a break statement. What will happen if it is break? Okay, let's just complete it. Now what happens? Say it is not 0, then we have to add the increment here. So j equal to j plus 1. Say we will divide it by 2, 3, 4, 5 and keep on checking it. Once it is 0 means we will come out of the loop. Then we will write it else. See where I am writing the else statement. Print I is a prime number. What happens is when I keep on checking by 2, 3, 4, like that I am checking. If at any point this division is perfectly divisible, then this break statement will be there. Once a break statement is there, then else part will not be executed. Suppose it is not, suppose it is 7, so it is not 2, 3, 4, 5, I continued up to, okay, because half of it, so I will continue up to 3. Then what happens in that case, the break will not encounter, so the else part will be printed, so it will print the number. Say I am 13, so what happened up to 6, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all will be checked with 13. So this is because this condition will never be true in case of 13. then the break statement will never be executed. So it will never be encountered. In that case, the else will print. Suppose if it is 12, moment it is 2, it is this if condition will be true. So the break will be encountered, and then the break, once the break is there, we have discussed that it will not print the else part. That is the reason how it will print. Now let me just come out, increase the our main pointer I equal to, so next number like that. Sorry, this should be this should be here. So this is part of the external while loop, not internal. That's all. So okay, it's 20 minutes already. So this is how. Now let's run this and see. So it is 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, like that, all the prime numbers it has printed. Now let me just reduce this to 50. That is why num equal to 50. So up to 50 only it is running. This yesterday also we discussed, but that time we have used for loop. Now let's collect some. Here is another application using while loop. We'll collect the user inputs. So we'll ask the user enter the numbers, and we'll print the sum of the user entered numbers. Say somebody has print 5, somebody next is 7, then 8, like that it goes on giving inputs to the system. Then at the end we'll see. But how we'll reach the end? We'll see that if the user wants to exit now my inputs are over, then he has to press 0. If it is 0, then exit and then print the sum of all the what the user has entered. So I am saying user input, I am setting a variable equal to a blank code. This variable I will be using. My sum, this is the variable which will finally print the sum of the numbers. Now here see, while user input not equal to, see this is the symbol of not equal to 0. Why I put it inside a quote? We'll shortly understand that. When it is like this, then what you do, user underscore input equal to input. Now I am taking the user input directly. Now I'll say enter. Every time I am telling 0 to exit. Now enter a number. Fine. So this is what I am saying. Okay. Now here I am saying my sum is equal to, here what I will do, my sum plus user input. But here is a mistake. What will happen is, by default when I take a user input, it's a string. Even if I enter 5 also, it's considered as a string. I have to convert it to as a integer. So for that I have to use int. And that is the reason, because here I am not converting it and checking it. So I have put a quotes here, because the input 0, whatever I am inputting, even if it is a 0, it's not considered as an integer. It's a string only. So the string comparison. So I have put a quotes here. Fine. Now once it is done, else means while loop is over. So print whatever loop the sum is. Now here let me put a comma, my sum. Okay, so what has happened? Let me just move it. Take the user input blank, my sum is 0. So as long as it keeps on looping, as long as you go on entering number, it will keep on accepting and summing it up. Moment you press 0, it will come out and print the else. So let's just run this. Enter 0 to exist, enter a number. Fine, this will always be coming. I have pressed 8, second number 9, 10. Okay, now I am putting 0. See, exited the loop, the sum is 27. Because the moment I put 0, then this becomes false. This line became false. So it has printed the sum of it. So that's all, friends. Will stop today here. So tomorrow we'll see. I will one more important thing is, in Python there is no do while loop. If you are from C or PHP and thing, you have a do while loop, do while loop, for loop, switch, all are there. But you will see that in Python there is no do while loop. Why it is not there? Anyway, I leave you with this question. So you can easily, what is the logic here is, you can as well by using a break statement you can create. So what's the basic difference between a do while and while loop is, even if the condition, see here what happens, as long as first it checks the condition, then it allows the code block. It's like standing at the front gate. The check is at the front gate. If it is true, then you are allowed to enter the code block is executed. But in a do while loop, after the code is executed, the condition is checked for the next loop. So it is like the check is at the back gate. So what happens, even if the condition is false also, in a do while loop condition, in other languages, the code block is once at least it will be executed. Then the checking is done and it is comes out of the loop or continues the loop based on the condition. Here what is that is, since you create a reverse logic, say a equal to true, okay, I leave it to up to you, and let me know in the comment section whether you are able to create the situation or not. I am just giving you a tip. Create a loop a equal to true, check it that while a equal to true, while a equal to, so the loop is executed, but inside if a is true, make it false. So and give a break statement. What happens, the code is once only it is executed and it comes out. That you can easily, I hope you can easily create, or let me know. I will put it in the code. I will add it to here and it will be, let me know through the comment section. That's all friends. So you can easily, I will save this and update it, so you can easily download the entire script, and we'll continue tomorrow. I will see whether we'll go for user defined functions or something else again at 7. So we are continuing this thing, and my request is please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon, so you'll be notified as and when we add it. And we are frequently adding it, and we are coming frequently online also, so you can join us and put your questions. Let me just see if there is any questions. No questions are there. Thank you for watching.